Have you ever thought, why do I suck at fantasy football? Welcome. This is the Commissioner Fantasy Football Podcast.
Welcome to the Commissioner Fantasy Football Podcast with myself and Matt Vitale.
Hello,
Say
hello, hello, hello.
We're reviewing
Lots of
a little
football.
bit of reviewing a little bit of week one, and then preview week two starts and sits. We'll do the morning games today. So if you want to know all the morning games, we're gonna review those.
Sounds great. All right. So should we just go out? Anything you want to say about week one?
Yeah, we learned a lot about week one, and one of the things we learned in
I'm
our
sorry, the
league is
Packers
that
sucked. What?
yeah, I mean that was
pretty
a
bad.
tough game to watch. I'm
Pretty
still
bad.
embarrassed. I'm still recovering. Really,
Ugh.
really bad.
Yeah.
Well, for
You
fantasy,
should have covered up all your Packers attire
Nah.
for
I'm not going to do that. For fantasy, go if you want to go trade for Aaron Jones or Devonta Adams or even Aaron Rodgers. Go do it if somebody's willing to do it. I've tried. I
don't
think everybody knows me too well.
Yeah, I don't think like I have Jones in one of my leagues. I'm not trading him
See, why not? He had a bad game. Why not? Why don't you
Well,
trade him? Huh?
because he had a bad game.
Do not
It's just a bad
overreact.
game.
Exactly. Do not overreact. And look, the Saints defense came out and just played a hell of a game. So
All right. And also don't overreact on guys who had an amazing game. You know, it's a long season. It's just week 2 coming up.
any examples?
Oh yeah, I do. What's his name? The San Francisco 49ers, what is Mitchell? I don't remember his first name.
Elijah Mitchell.
Elijah, there you go.
You didn't have that like a great of that, a great of a game.
Yeah, he
So
had a
it's not like you
good
overreact.
game, especially for a backup. But in our league, we have waiver points, right? Or waiver dollars. We have
Waiver
100
fab. So it's fab
Yeah. So we have 150 per season to use
per season for each.
to bid on waiver claims. And Eric, what was Mitchell bought at this week?
No, let's talk before where he was bought at.
Mhm.
You and I talked about it, right? I told you I'm not going to put a bid on him because I don't like San Francisco backfield. You said $37 out of 150. It's
Yeah.
hard to do the percentages, but it's like that's not even.
Well, I'm going. He might be a decent back, right? Depending on how they use him. I have an empty spot on my bench. Gallup's out for at least 3-4 weeks, and I'd like to replace it with someone. So I was like, Mitchell seems like a good candidate for that. I could keep him on my bench, see how he does. Maybe start him, maybe not. But $37 was like, okay,
Where
I could
were you?
lose this.
Okay. Where were you ranked at $37?
I was probably second to last.
second to last. and
Tied.
It was like
I
seven
think
bids.
Danny did $37 as well.
There was Danny did 37 bids in all leagues. And Danny, if you're watching this, it doesn't make sense because some leagues we have $100 fabs.
That's actually because we're in 2 leagues. Well, we're out in 3 leagues together technically.
I'm in 4 leagues with Danny
But-
and all $37.
Yeah, all 37. This one has 150 available. The other one had 100, and he still put 37 up. I put 27 on the $100
Yeah.
one. Still didn't get
So-
it. Yeah, it was pretty ridiculous.
So he went for $125. The
Mhm.
second highest was Jeff at 87.
No, 76.
I thought
So
it was
the jump from
86.
first, I'm looking at it right now. The jump
Okay.
from first to second was quite I mean, I thought 76 would be absurd.
Like you said,
Or-
somebody wanted him. So CJ wanted him in our league and he got
Yeah,
him.
I guess CJ doesn't want any more waiver pickups for this, at least good waiver pickups for the season. I mean, what he's got 25 anyone, let's say you and CJ need someone, you just put $26 in and see what
Yeah,
happens.
it's very
Wow.
easy at this point too. And then that's the best part about all this happening is that they're setting a bar for the rest of the season. So people are going to overbid and spend more fab.
I think Steven did 25.
Yeah, which that sounds like 37. That sounds to me like you should have won at 37. That's pretty decent. He's not guaranteed. Sermon might be back.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of ifs in that backfield.
Well,
Shanahan's never
Sermon's supposed to
trusted.
be back.
Yeah.
From what I
So
read. Yeah. So
again, whatever, and then that's fine. But that was the main pickup of week one. Another
Mhm.
surprise, like of week one, I think before in Thursday night game was Gronkowski. I don't think he's going to have that kind of a game probably all season, maybe against a bad defense. So there's
yeah,
people you
I
could
don't know.
trade that are like,
He gets those touchdowns, man.
yeah,
Brady
but
likes
this
him.
game,
Oh,
yes,
that's not as good as this game, but
yeah, he was targeted a lot. Mike Evans didn't
Brady
benefit
was
from this game.
throwing though. What a game to watch.
Yeah, it was a fun game. The Sunday kind of disappointed me based on that game. So
Yeah.
whatever.
It was a great first game for the NFL.
So go and trade for the players that didn't do well for Zeke. I tried. People are more smarter than years ago. It's a little hard to do that now to
Yeah.
get.
I'm hoping Zeke comes back this week with a vengeance.
Yeah, Zeke will be fine.
Oh, by the way, who'd you play last week?
I played a lot of people.
No,
because,
I mean in our
actually,
main league, the main league we're talking about. Who'd you
I
play?
played you and you got lucky. And here,
Oh,
let
I'm
me
sorry,
explain.
Lucky. Go
Yes,
on,
let
go
me
on.
explain because what are you going to do with Josh Jacobs from now on, bud? Let me ask you that. You have Josh Jacobs in the main league. What are you going to do with him?
I
You're
can
going to start
ride him
him?
as long as I can ride him. Yeah, I can start him.
How many yards do you have? Go find out how many yards do you have.
I
Because
understand.
if he didn't get those 2 touchdowns,
Mhm.
okay, he screwed the pooch. Like it's pretty bad.
Well, he doesn't get the
kept
2
getting
touchdowns. I
injured.
still beat you.
Well, maybe. Well, yeah,
Yeah.
probably depends. Yeah.
Yeah, and if you watched the game last week, the Baltimore defense is pretty good against the run. Jacobs wasn't on as many snaps because of his health, so he was limited. So they used him mainly when they needed him, which was to get those touchdowns.
Sure.
So you can't base the entire season of his performance based on this game where he was pretty limited to what they did with him.
So after this game, how is his health? Because it got worse. He has turf toe. He kept going to the sidelines. I do it week one, and you're this unhealthy. Get out of here. I don't want Jacobs at all this season. I have him in my dynasty league. I'm not starting him at all. They need to put him on IR or something. How about have him get better? This guy came in hurt, got worse, and now what do you get 30 yards or something? He's not going to be, dude. Drake is the guy to get. Go get Kenyon Drake because PPR especially, he's the guy that's going to be there.
We'll see.
So yeah,
I'm
good
not
luck.
throwing
Good
in the
luck.
towel with Jacobs.
I threw it in my dynasty. In dynasty, I wasn't comfortable starting him because I have other options.
What are you going to drop him?
I'm not going to drop him in
Let's,
dynasty.
let's talk trade.
We'll talk
I'll
trade.
give you something. I'll give you
No,
something good.
No, you won't.
I mean, look, you said it. You said so yourself. He's not.
No,
worth
this
much.
year I'm done with Jacobs this year until if they put him on IR, let him heal up and let him get better and let him be super, completely healthy like every other running back except Saquon Barkley.
All right, let's get moving here. Week 2, game 1, Bengals and Bears.
Yeah, we're recording this before Thursday, so Thursday night game we couldn't preview
but wow,
should be
what a
easy.
game, right, guys?
Wow,
didn't expect that, huh? Or
this offense,
rough game,
these
huh?
These offenses look great. Daniel Jones looks great. I was going to call him Heineke, the quarterback for the Washington, dude. Fitzpatrick, man.
Man, it's so sad, right?
It sucks for McLaurin. But whatever, we'll see. All right. So these are the morning games. Game number 1 is
Bengals at the Bears.
All right.
Who are we starting for Bengals?
Dude. If Jeff, I don't know if Jeff is going to listen, but Burrow is on our waivers in our main league. He picked up Winston instead of Burrow, and I'm just like, see, and this is like,
it's weird.
Winston had 5 touchdowns. It was just a weird game. It's not going to happen again. You got to pick up Burrow because Burrow looked good. Burrow, he didn't have a great fantasy outcome because he didn't play a crappy defense, but he looked great. So I would definitely pick up Burrow. I have Mahomes.
Him and Chase seem to connect really well.
Yeah, and then he still has Higgins. And then if all else fails, he has Boyd and Mixon.
Mhm.
Look, this team looks a lot better. I was happy to see what they did against a good defense. Mixon looked great. Higgins looked great. Chase
Finally,
looked great.
right? Like Mixon looks like what he's supposed to look like.
Yeah, and
Been a
hopefully it
long time coming.
stays. Yeah, hopefully it stays. So start all those guys. For the Bears, look,
Bowers.
David Montgomery looked good against one of the best run defense, best overall defense is the Rams last Sunday night. I was
Mhm.
surprised. So I might have been wrong on him that he just had a really
You
good
may-
end of the season against bad defenses
You
last
may
week,
have been wrong.
last
there.
year. Look, he looked good when I was watching that game. I
Yeah.
was watching for him. He looked faster. He looked quicker. I just wish they throw him the ball more. Damian Williams is there.
Mhm.
They're using him more as a pass catcher. Kind of sucks.
And besides him, it's pretty much just Robinson, no?
Allen Robinson, yeah, you got to start Allen. He had a bad game, so if you want to go ahead and trade for, I'm going to try to. Hopefully, I can get some trades in before somebody listens to this. But I'm going to go in a bunch of leagues and try to get Allen Robinson. People are down on him. A lot of people don't like him. He had a bad game, and this is not like a Devonta Adams having a bad game.
Mhm.
So I'm going to try to go out and get him in a bunch of leagues.
All right,
That's
game
what I'm doing.
2, Texans at the Browns.
Texans. Ingram is the only guy who could start there as a running back. I
Even
think
then, it's I don't know.
you feel dirty starting it.
Well, touchdown dependent, right? Kind of like what Jacobs
Big time.
was,
Yeah.
but
I
like
think,
on a serious level.
oh yeah, he needs a touchdown to give you a good week. Cooks, Cooks against a better defense might have not be that great. Against the Jags, of course, their defense is probably the worst. And then Taylor in the Q, of course, in 2 quarterback league, you can start him just because he gives you that running foundation. This is the argument I was having with Danny,
Mhm.
I think on one of our leagues, was Lamar had a bad game, right? If you watch that game, Lamar had a bad game. He made some
Well,
throws and missed a lot of throws.
Also fumbled the ball twice.
Fumbled twice.
Pretty
and
much cost him
still-
the game.
Yes, and still got you like, he didn't ruin your fantasy. He just
Mhm.
didn't do that. Rodgers ruined your fantasy.
Yeah.
Because his baseline of running, I think Taylor has the same thing. So I kind of want to mention that.
Okay.
For the Browns, I think start all your Browns. Start whoever you have on the Browns except OBJ. Don't start him. He
Chubb
might
and
not-
Hunt look good, no?
They look good. They're
Mm.
playing against the Texans. That's
I don't
not a
have
good
Hunt in
defense.
any of my leagues this year. And
I have him
makes me
in
sad.
one. Yeah, I have. So go get him. So
I've
start
nothing
all
against
your
that.
start all your Bengals. They look good. Mayfield's a good start. Somebody picked them up in our league against me. I was like, their defense looks good, like a good
You mean
start.
Browns? You said Bengals.
The Browns, sorry, the
Yeah.
Browns. So this is all about the Browns. All right,
All right, Rams at the Colts.
Rams look good. Stafford looked good. Oh man,
Mm-hmm.
tasty. I'm a Stafford fan.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you start Stafford. Cup looked good. Robert Woods looked like he was being used. He didn't have that great of a game. He just got that touchdown. And Higbee, I don't know. Jefferson looks like he was used, but not a lot of targets. So we'll start your Rams defense. So Cup.
Henderson or Jefferson?
Jefferson's the other wide receiver
Mhm.
that got caught. I think that caught a long touchdown in the beginning.
Yeah.
So he was targeted, but I wouldn't trust him unless it's a deeper league. But Henderson, I think, should be a good start. He looks like he's used way more than Sony Michelle. So Sony
Nice.
Michelle's been dropped in a bunch of leagues.
All right,
How much
Colts.
did Danny pay?
Oh, for Sony Michelle.
30
know, what-
something. I just
What did he pick him up on waivers or what?
yeah, when he got signed with the Rams,
Oh, what did he pay?
there was a waiver
I
bid.
forgot.
I don't know, like 30 something.
Ooh. Did anyone else
So-
bid?
Yeah, it was a few people bid. And I think I bid like $2 or something.
Yeah, but what was the second highest bid on that?
I don't
30
remember.
something?
I have to look
Okay.
back.
All right,
All
Colts.
right. Colts, man, they're playing against a tough defense at home.
Mhm.
I can't start Wentz. Can't start any of the receivers.
Yeah,
Taylor, you have
Wentz,
to
Wentz
start.
seems like he had a bit of a rough time.
He did, because again, he's just a first game. I think he's going to get better. He actually produced, so he wasn't like he give you a bad week if you started him. Hopefully, he
Mhm.
didn't start him. But Taylor, you start, and I think Hines and PPR should be a good start. They'll probably be behind trying to use Naeem Hines.
Okay. Game 4, Bills at Dolphins.
Bills. Josh Allen looked bad, not as bad as Aaron Rodgers, but he looked
Mhm.
bad last week. But the Steelers defense is good. So this is a good game for a nice comeback, especially when you're playing in
Mhm.
Miami. Miami's defense is decent, but it's nothing like the Steelers. Josh Allen start,
You
Diggs.
wanna talk about Singletary there, bud?
Yeah,
Let's talk about him.
let's talk about it.
Want to talk about our little side bet we had last week?
Yeah, we bet that he was in our league. He was score. I say he was going to score over 10 points, fantasy
Mhm.
points. And
And what did I
said
tell you?
under.
What did I tell you?
You said under, and again, look, he almost had 2 touchdowns.
Yeah, almost. But I'm sorry. Did you win or lose that bet? Just for
I lost, and I'm okay with
Oh.
losing bets like that. But I like what I saw,
Mm.
so I like Singletary. I know you don't like Singletary going forward. I do.
I have nothing against him as a running back. I think him and Moss are both great running backs. Drop Moss this week. I decided I do not want anything to do with
But the Bills,
with
yeah,
the Bills. Yeah. I don't want anything to do with the running backs.
that's okay.
The problem is Josh Allen will take most of those touchdowns.
Yes,
The
I
5
get it.
yards away from the goal line, and they don't use them that much for it to be fantasy worthy.
Yes, that game again. I'm not gonna look at that game against the Steelers against a really good defense. Looks like
Well, I'm not
did
even
really
talking
good.
about that specific game. I'm talking about all of last season.
I okay, and that's fine. But I think what I saw, the way they were using Singletary in the passing game and on the red zone, he got some targets. I like it. So I'm probably going to start him this week, especially if Zach Moss is out. I'm going to put him in my lineup again,
Yeah, and the fact
and
that
we
they're
could double
not
down on
telling
that
you
bet again. If you
the fact that the Bills aren't telling you what's going on with Zach Moss. Is he hurt? Do they just not like him anymore? Do they feel like he's, not startable?
Usually, I
Something
think they
personal
don't want to.
happen?
Maybe sometimes they don't want to disclose something, and that's fine. So we don't know. But if he's out again, I'm definitely starting Singletary 100%. So,
All right,
all right.
Dolphins. Anybody worthy there?
Yes, Miles Gaskin. I think Miles Gaskin is another guy to go get. He was drafted like in the 4th, 5th round, but I like him
Mhm.
for PPR, especially go get him. And Waddle, look, they might be playing catch up and they're going to start throwing the ball. I mean, Jalen Waddle is good. I'm glad to. I watched a few of the plays. I didn't watch the entire game, but he looks good. So that game is hard to start fantasy players, but Miles Gaskin you have to start. And especially if Miles Gaskins doesn't do well now, go and get him in PPR leagues.
Well,
Nice.
Bills have a great defense.
They do, but the Steelers still actually won that game, still
Mhm.
got in the end zone. And so their corners, the Bills' corners are amazing. So I don't think Waddle's going to have an amazing game, but this rookie is decent.
Don't start Tua this week.
No, unless you're in 2 quarterback leagues, again, he still could give you that rushing.
Mhm.
So that's the one thing you like. But I wouldn't trust him. Even if like a 2 quarterbacks league, I'll look.
Yeah, I have him. I don't like him against the Bills.
Yeah.
So. All right, Patriots at the Jets. Moving on.
Patriots lost a bad game against the Dolphins, so they might be mad. Defense, you start their defense against the Jets. I wouldn't start any of the quarterbacks, the rookie quarterbacks, because there's 2 rookie quarterbacks facing each other in this game. I would start there are 2 tight ends, Henry or Jonnu Smith. I don't know who to start. I want to learn who is being used more, but they're 2 good tight ends. Then Myers, the wide receiver, you start Damon Harris, and in PPR, James White might be the guy. I think if you see James White on the waiver, go get him, especially in PPR leagues. Make sure he's there because I think he might be the biggest winner in that offense.
And what about Jones?
Jones?
Yeah.
No, I'm not going to start him in this game. You could, but I still want to see the development. I know it's the Jets, but I still want to see some development. So in 2 quarterback leagues, I'll probably start him. But if you're in a 1 quarterback league and the 12, 10 team league, dude, no. There's way better options.
All right. Starting anyone at the Jets.
Corey Davis, maybe. The Jets, man. I thought they would be better. I want to see them get better. They have a tough matchup. So we'll see. We'll see how they develop. I'm still kind of cheering on the Jets. I'm not a Jets fan, but I'm cheering them on.
All right. 49ers at the Eagles.
All right, here we go. 49ers
Here
had
we
an
go.
easy matchup. That's the one thing we didn't talk about Elijah Mitchell. That was an
Al-
easy matchup. Oh my God.
Although you give the Lions credit where it's due, they
Where is the
almost
credit due?
well, they almost came back in that game, and
Against the
there,
second
yeah,
string defense.
but still,
The 49ers said, we're done. We beat you guys. We're
but
putting on our
still,
backups.
there was heart in those Lions, is all I'm saying.
Yeah, everybody has heart. I get it.
Mhm,
But
mhm.
yeah, so here they face a good run defense. Let's go ahead, Elijah Mitchell, and see what happens. I was saying I was talking to somebody earlier today, one of the leagues, Hasty,
Mhm.
their other running back. I think he's going to do better than Elijah Mitchell this week. That was kind of my bold
Well, yeah,
prediction.
San Francisco's always had a share backfield, right?
Yeah,
So I don't know. Like, I think if I did pick up Mitchell this week, I don't know if I'd be able to start him. I'd want at least 3 games to kind of see what they're going to do.
yeah. If you
He's
paid a
very
decent
iffy.
price for him, you kind of put him on your bench and see this is a tough game. You're on the road.
Yeah, but I have a feeling when you pay a super high price,
You have to
you
put it
have to
in.
start him at that point, right? Because your faith is that he's going to be amazing.
Yeah, I looked at CJ. He didn't have a good week on this team. You know, your own one, it doesn't feel good. Like I lost, I'm 0-1, but
Yeah, but
I don't
0-1's
care.
not time to like throw Hail Marys. You're
For
you're
me,
done. You're
0-4, Owen's not time yet. Like
yeah, you're like
it,
there's still time.
because
These
we have
things.
17 weeks now. Like
Mhm.
even 0-5, I'll be like, okay, I'll just continue to tread on. And sometimes you have bad luck. In our league, the cool thing we have is if you score a bunch of points, you
Mhm.
still get into the playoffs. So
Yep.
that's my
All
goal.
right. So what are we doing?
Kittle and Debo.
So what are they doing with their quarterbacks? Because it seems like they use Garoppolo mostly, but then they would put in
They're
um
gonna do that. They're gonna
Lance,
play
right?
that. Teams are doing that now. They're with the Chicago Bears did that with Fields. Teams are gonna do that because they have this other option, and again, it throws off the defense sometimes. Because Lance came in instead of running the ball, he threw the ball. Everybody
Mhm.
probably thought he was gonna run the ball. He threw a touchdown on his first pass, which is pretty cool.
But the question is like, Garoppolo, is that going to make him play better, or is that because he has to fight for a spot now, or is it going to, mess with his head?
No, I think they're trying to infiltrate this thing where, hey, we're gonna use him. Just be comfortable, do your thing. He looked okay, but then again, that was the Lions. So it's just like, I want to see this game. This is the game I'm watching
Mhm.
with the 49ers. All these 49er fans are like, just let them go to the Eagles, let them play the good defense on the road, and we'll see what happens.
Kittle and Debo looked good.
So I
It,
think Debo is going to benefit from this injury for Mostert. I think
Mhm.
because not just in the passing game, they've used him in the run game.
Oh yeah,
So
he
here's
likes to do
another.
those long runs.
So,
Mm.
so look, that's what I'm saying about Mitchell is, dude, Shanahan's not that guy who's going to just put his trust in one guy. So, all right.
Well, that's always true. But what about Ayuk? I mean,
I
talk
don't know what
about a
happened to him.
disappointment
Yeah, but he
week.
was maybe it's an injury. I'll give him another 2 to 3 weeks to see if he's completely just like maybe the coaching or like the coach
I'm
was
pretty
working on.
sure he cost many people uh, a
Yeah,
W.
yeah, sucks.
I mean, coming out with a 0 is rough.
Yeah, and again, that was we'll see. We'll see. So I'll still give him time. If somebody drops him right now, I'll go pick him up because hey, he's supposed to be the guy that he was last year. All right, Eagles.
Hurts look good.
He's another dude. He's gonna be another like Lamar. He gives you that base.
I know, but
Uh,
just throwing. He looked good.
Atlanta's
But
Falcons
still,
defense.
like I don't know how many Eagles games you watched last year. I have Hurts in our
He
in our
did
dynasty
okay.
league. No,
He
he
was
looked much better than last year.
yeah.
Like,
Because again, now time to prepare. Now you got a new weapon. Most people are healthy. The offensive line looks better.
mhm.
Miles Sanders looks good. Kenneth Gainwell, the other running back, looked actually pretty well. I think the Eagles might be a big surprise in the East, where the Cowboys play. So,
So
always thinking
Hurts
like,
is a starter.
oh yeah, he's a he's a top 10 for me quarterback every week now. So you start all those guys that we just talked about. Miles Sanders,
Mhm.
Goddard. Not the greatest start, but He was used. He was targeted. Jalen Rager maybe, and then Smith. Sorry, I forgot to put on there Smith, the rookie, Devonta
Okay.
Smith. So
All right, Raiders and Steelers. Raiders, what with the upset? I think their defense. You gotta give their defense a win, right? For
a little
against
bit,
Baltimore.
but they lost a few pieces on defense, so they're
Yeah.
going to be worse. Now you're playing at the Steelers. Good luck, Raider fans. Good luck.
Mhm.
You're done. This game, whatever the difference, I'm going to see what the spread is. I'm gonna definitely bet on this game because the Steelers will cover it. I think the Steelers come out and say, "Hey, we won against the Bills. Now let's hey, we're at home, first home game." I think they're going to destroy the Raiders. The Raiders have lost pieces on defense, big ones to injuries for the entire season. So I think the Steelers, start all your Steelers. Ben, Harris, you could probably start Claypool, Deontay Johnson, Juju, start their defense. And for the Raiders, Waller's the only start.
So
that I
you
can-
you talked about Gronkowski and how great of a game he had, and that's probably not going to happen. What about with Waller? Because I feel like he was overused.
last year was overused. Dude, Carr literally every play they write up, since Jacobs not running the ball more, it's like, dude, that's why he was drafted in the second round this year because of exactly this. And I lost in one league because of Waller on Monday night. So it sucks, but dude, he's primarily used. Brian Edwards was used at the end of the game. So if you watch the entire game, Brian Edwards was the guy I like. The guy, he's a second year. He was a rookie last year. Big body. I like him a lot. So hopefully he steps up and kind of, gets more targets and catches. But if not, then Waller's going to be the guy. That's the only thing.
All right. And with the Steelers.
Everybody, start everybody.
All right. Saints at the Panthers.
Saints lost a few pieces in defense, but they're still going to be okay. They're playing the Panthers. So you can start their defense. For the Saints, Kamara, Winston is okay start, but if you think he's going to throw 5 more touchdowns, I don't think so. Hopefully he gets 300 yards. And he might in this game, so it's a decent matchup. Winston, and then Troutman, the tight end, got a bunch of targets, bunch of catches. He didn't get a touchdown because what's his name? The one that I got in every league. I bid on this guy. So I was listening to a beat writer from the Saints talking about Sean Payton, the coach, loving Duan Johnson. He's in our league, and I think mostly he's a tight end / wide receiver. So you can put him at a tight end and a wide receiver. So when I heard that, this is why I kind of went and made all those bids. See if you see in the leagues, the ones we're in. I bid $53 in our dynasty league because it's a dynasty, right? We don't really spend a lot of fab, and I don't need a lot of fab.
Yeah.
So I put 53 on him, and I think Danny put 37. Danny and 37 is like his number.
37.
So I knew I had to put over 50. I wanted him for dynasty just because of what I heard from this writer in New Orleans, what Sean Payton said about him. And hopefully it's true. This is the only thing I'm banking it on because he caught 2 touchdowns. So he had a good game, but he wasn't targeted a lot by Winston. But then the game script with the Packers was also weird.
Yeah.
So this is why I wanted him in every league. Most of the leagues, at least, that I got him.
Panthers. McCaffrey looked good.
No touchdown, he still got you like 25, 26 fantasy points. Like,
He looked good.
Yeah, McCaffrey's McCaffrey. This is why he was number 1. So I know some people in some leagues drafted Cook or drafted like somebody Henry. Dude, do not. No, you stick with CMC. DJ Moore in PPR and Anderson in non-PPR for me, or half PPR for Anderson. It's going to be a tough matchup for them. Hopefully they perform. And the last
DJ Moore. You think he's going to do better this week?
He did okay last week. I like what he did. He's going to get a touchdown.
Yeah.
So I like where they're going. So, but I wouldn't start Sam Darnold.
All right, and the last game for this podcast, Broncos at the Jaguars.
Oh man, Judy. Oh,
Bridgewater looked decent.
You know why?
Because he runs
so many. No, well but so many weapons to throw. Noah Fant. He had Judy. Sutton's healthy.
How long is Judy gone for?
About 8 weeks. They said 6 to 8 weeks. So it's not a season-ending injury, which is good. I have him in the few leagues I put on IR.
Yeah,
but dude, Noah Fant is there. Melvin
Yeah.
Gordon, you could start in this game. You could start on John Williams, Javonte Williams. You could
Patrick?
yeah, this is the Jaguars, the worst defense. Start everybody.
And do you start anyone on the Jags?
Yeah, you start Robinson. You didn't have a good game. I'm trying to trade for Robinson. People just want too much for James Robinson. Chenault,
Mhm.
I still start in PPR. He looks like he was definitely used.
Mhm.
No, not great production. Marvin Jones got a touchdown, I think over 100 yards. DJ Chark looked good, but that was against the Texans. So, and Lawrence, like Jeff dropped Lawrence. Sorry, we're using Jeff Hughes as an example. For Winston, I'd rather have Lawrence. They're going to throw the ball. In this game, they're going to be down, but the Broncos are not. I think they lost a few pieces too on defense. So,
Yeah.
Lawrence is going to be throwing the ball. So, whatever.
Well, hey, what league did he drop him in?
In our league, our main league.
Our main league.
So we have Burrow, Lawrence on the waivers. It's in our league they have to be on the waivers all day, so we can't bid on them until tomorrow. So we'll probably see some bids on them, Lawrence.
Probably. All right. Anything to add?
No, look, don't let 1 week. If you're 0-1, don't panic. Don't make stupid trades. It's the best advice I can always give. Hit me up. I went 9 leagues. I went 5-4. So I'm
That's
cool.
right. I beat you last week.
Yeah, I lost in our dynasty league because
Mhm.
everybody went off on me. Like, so it is what it is. It's okay because it doesn't matter. 1 week doesn't matter. You learn.
Well, I
and
mean,
move
1
on.
week matters, but it's not a make or break.
Especially in the 17-week season. We have a long season. It's a
Mhm.
long road. Don't panic. That's my always number one advice. Don't panic. Don't make stupid trades.
Make
please.
smart decisions, right?
Yes, listen to me. Listen to us. Ask who to start. Don't get all cutesy. Start people that you shouldn't be
Yeah.
starting.
But week one was definitely up and down. A lot of teams doing super well, and others just what happened.
It's going to come back. So we'll see. After 3 weeks, that's when you can kind of settle in and say, okay, which teams are really good? Like,
Which
Packers will come
players are
back and
being
have-
consistently
Yeah.
used? Yeah.
exactly. So we'll see.
All right.
We'll be talking about this more and
Let's
more.
sign off.
All right. We'll do one. I'll probably do one episode, or maybe we'll do one more before Sunday with the rest
Sounds
of the games.
great.
There's only like 7. So,
All right. till
and hopefully
next
we can
time.
make a trade. Sorry. Hopefully we can make a trade.
Well,
talk
we'll
about
talk. We'll talk.
it.
All right.
Till next time. Bye, guys.
Dude, you better not be sleeping after that podcast. That was an amazing message. Thank you for listening, and please subscribe to the YouTube channel, The Commissioner. Also subscribe on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. Any comments, questions, concerns, send them to the Instagram page, The Commissioner, your fantasy football guide.